Greetings, fellow diplomats. I'm Chevalier, and I bid you welcome to a small talk about whom you should ally and whom you should rival. So basically, I talk about diplomacy. And with this out of the way, let's actually get started. Primarily, you should usually use this for smaller guys. For big guys, for example, like France, you probably go for the weakening of your enemies. For example, France, Castile. Whenever you can, you should actually rival them and attack those guys. But it's still possible for you to, for example, if I go here to tag France, you can actually see here that I can, to some degree, come on, don't do this shit to me. You can see that you can actually rival Provence, you can rival Savoy, the Papal State, so there are many more options for France to rival that are weaker for them to, so that they can get more power projection, basically, more power projection easily. That's what I want to say. To the point where you can actually do some more nice stuff with France if you actually attack the Papal State. Again, more important stuff. Now let's actually switch back to Nassau. Now Nassau is a small OPM in HRE, as you can probably see by looking at the screen. He has at this point in time 3 rivals: Aachen, Frankfurt and Hesse. So Aachen, Frankfurt and Hesse. And he has quite a large list of potential rivals. For in that view, you can actually check opinion and look at Nassau here. You can actually see your rivals, the opinion of your neighbors. So you can see that Cologne is friendly, Cleves is friendly, Trier is friendly, so Mainz is friendly as well, and with many more guys neutral. But when you choose your actual rival, they might want to ally you instantly. So for a more in-depth view, you can actually check your rivals as well and see they're friendly with Mainz, they're friendly with their rival with Cologne, their rival with Wurzburg, and Cologne it's actually neutral with these guys and rival with Cleves. So you can actually use Cologne to attack both Cleves and Hesse, and you can actually, for example, use Wurzburg to attack Hesse, and at the same time, if you look at here, you can actually, for example, safeguard yourself, or even to the point where you can actually use Wurzburg for more conquest, like say into Thuringia, into Saxony, or moving to Ansbach to Mainz. Again, it gives you a better picture of the relations between the nearby states. Now, as Nassau, my recommendation will be, for example, ally Cologne, ally Trier, and ally Mainz. They usually move into Cleves and Hesse with ease. Frankfurt cannot be attacked because he's a free city. If you look at it, he's a free city and he's gonna be defended by the Emperor. So that is of no use to you attacking Frankfurt. So it's gonna be left like this for probably the rest of the campaign, or until you become the HRE Emperor yourself. And this basically repeats itself conquest after conquest after conquest. Now, as for your rival picking, you should also check out their army size. Navies usually do not matter, simply because navies will not be that much of use if they're only naval land battles. If you actually fight, for example, let's say England fights France, they'll need more troops and they'll have to debark them. But if France wants to fight England, they'll have to be careful of their fleet as well. This usually only comes into contact when you have to switch troops from one place to another to transports, basically over the sea. Other than this, navies shouldn't be taken into any calculations. Now, armies, to use power projection, to get power projection more efficiently, you should actually take a rival those guys that have a lesser army. By this I mean in 20 to 30%, not like say 3% here between Aachen and Mainz, for example. Like let's say between Mainz and Cologne with 20%. That is really important because they'll have more armies. But again, for a small OPM, this shouldn't count. This only counts for medium nations. For a small OPM, try to just get allies and rivals that can actually complement each other. Basically, those decisions can complement each other, and you can actually use those allies to attack your rivals. And this is it. For bigger nations, as I said before, it matters for you to actually weaken your primary enemies, because that is always more important. And at the same time, you should use your position to actually also attack small guys to get more power projection. For example, as Austria, if I actually switch to Austria right now, you'll see that you can have a huge amount of rivals from province, Savoy, Papal State. But this should also, you should not always actually weaken your biggest enemies. For example, you shouldn't try to weaken Burgundy, simply because Burgundy is going to be broken up between France and Austria at some point, so you shouldn't actually try to weaken Burgundy. At the same time, you have Provence, which is really low. It has minus 76% lower armies than you have, so to some degree it's possible for you to attack Lorraine here, so you can actually release Lorraine and release Bar from Provence. Although this again might not be a good option, simply because Burgundy usually attacks Bar, and they take Bar under their control, and they'll take lands for Lorraine as well. And when the HRE, the Burgundian hand inspires, Bar and Metz Lorraine is gonna be released to you. So again, it's even better for you if you get those lands for yourself and they do not go to somebody else. So you don't, they're still gonna be released and part of your control when Burgundy gets split up between France and England. At the same time, if you look here, we have Venice at minus 61%, that you need to take lands from him so that the Shadow Empire event won't trigger. So it's better for you to go for Venice and try to take lands from Venice. Same goes for the Papal State as well, minus 75%. It's possible for you to do that as well and take those lands from the Papal State so that he can be added to the HRE basically. Other than this, try to basically make up your own strategy and your own let's say way, and let's say how should I call it, a chain of attacks basically, and where you want to expand at the start of the game as big nations and even as medium nations when you get there. Try to make sure that you have a chain of attacks that they can actually help you. As you see, as I said, for Austria, getting into Venice, getting into Papal State as well, so you can actually stop the Shadow Empire event from firing, and leaving Provence and Lorraine to actually be annexed by Burgundy, so that he'll get aggressive expansion, which means that you'll be able to form a coalition against Burgundy, which means that the Burgundy inheritance event is gonna fire faster. So small ways of attacking, for example, as the Ottomans here, you need to take your cores back, right? So first and foremost, you should focus on your cores and that's your way, then start weakening your primary enemies, for example. Primary enemies, as well as moving towards the Genoa trade node basically, so you can actually get the goal from that. So take your cores at first, take Byzantium, then move into weakening the Mamelukes, weakening Aragon so they lose the PO over Naples, and slowly move your way in and taking all of the Genoa trade node for yourself and moving and attacking France and Castile, so they won't be able to actually get colonies in the New World, which is gonna weaken them even more. Again, those types of stuff, and basically you have to have a bigger picture. Basically always have an overview of the situation and what are the best options for you to attack. And yeah, this is a small talk about diplomacy and whom you should attack and whom you should rival. Remember, always have an overview of the current situation and what are the best options for attack and for allies as well. I'm Chevalier, I hope you enjoyed this. If you enjoyed this, comment, I really would like to hear from you, hear your feedback. Also, try to basically check the playlist, because there are more tutorials like this that you can actually be of use to you and get better, especially the HRE ways for you to become the HRE Emperor, which are really important for any European nation. Again, I'm Chevalier, I've been welcome, and I hope to enjoy this. Ciao.